Steve, BCO. I don't know what my parents were thinking when they put those two names together. So Stephen is what I have to say because it rains in one, right? I'm Stevio, you know. But BCO is a Greek name. It's Visios. And I don't know how Granddad found the Ozarks back in the 20s, but here we are, okay? So apparently there's quite kind of a Greek sort of thing going on in the middle of the country and, you know, down around. And I don't know, maybe the hills reminded him of home. Who knows? But I was the 8th of 9 kids, so hopefully I can project. That was the thing. We didn't need microphones in my family. You either shouted or you just didn't get anything. So let me know if in the back you're having issues hearing me, okay? But that's kind of what and talking to Ron and talking to Tara about what you guys were wanting out of this. And in a lot of ways, I've got a bachelor's degree in marketing, so in a lot of ways, some of this stuff is marketing, but this is really a kind of report to you on social media and the changes that are going on in the marketing world. And in a lot of ways, I'm going to introduce a concept called inbound marketing to you guys, okay? So just so I can get a sense of where people are with this, who's familiar with the concept of inbound marketing? Okay, so no one's heard of that yet, okay. Social media, I'm sure people are starting to hear about social media and you're kind of curious about it. So what I find is it's sort of a continuum. People are really either all over it or they're kind of actually sort of fighting against it, leave me alone, I don't want to get involved in that. So just show of hands, let's get a poll from the room. Who's got a Facebook account? Okay, that's pretty good. Who's on LinkedIn? Who's got a LinkedIn profile? Okay. Is there anyone here that's blogging, actually getting on and writing a blog? Okay, Dee, that's a good one. All right. Who's been told that you need to get more involved in social media? Okay. Yeah, right. Yeah, so this is great. This is what happens. And what's the interesting thing is I kind of bridge. I'm sort of the bridge. And that may be because I was the 8th of the 9 kids. I was always sort of the one watching my older brothers and sisters kind of and their dramas and sitting back going, you know, don't do that. Or then I would also kind of bridge the gap from the older kids to the younger kids in my parents' eyes. I was the 5th of the children to try to take a shot at my dad's company. I just knew my older sister was going to run it. She ended up she got her master's degree, she got her PhD, she now teaches organizational psychology at Missouri State. I knew my brother, George, was going to run the company, and he ended up getting his degree in civil engineering, and he went to Rolla, and now he's a civil engineer. So as a 48-year-old, I think I'm a nice bridge between that older generation of folks who are like going, I don't get this, why would I do this? And then the younger people who are going, oh my God, my whole life is this. And they can't get out of their, you know, this is what they talk to everyone. If you want to talk to my son's 18 and I want to get a hold of him, if I text him, he's right there. If I email, call, yell up to his room, nothing, you know. But if I text him, he's on. We knew he got a girlfriend because one month all of a sudden he had 2,500 texts. You know? And it's like, okay, Alex has met someone, all right? So hopefully I can kind of help bridge that sort of gap and get you guys, because that's what, even at my company, I've hired people that are 20 and 30, and they're coming to me constantly. So a lot on the marketing side, I think I can do a good job of kind of weaving this into the marketing world. But on the actual platforms, there's such a moving target. I mean, just last week, Facebook made major changes that throws everything all up in the air again, and you have to figure it all out again. And the younger folks are constantly coming to me and go, you know, that was 3 months ago. You know, you can't do that now, right? So it's kind of crazy in that way. But social media really has started, it's the communications technology that's driving this, okay? That's what started. It's so much easier to communicate with one another. That's what really got this going, okay? So now it became sort of this easy to communicate with one another, and so people started using these communication tools for their own ends and to kind of make things easier. And then they started using the tools in ways that people didn't realize or understand how they were going to use them. And then older people like me started coming in and going, well, how can we monetize this? How can I use this to make money out of it? Can I drive traffic? Can I get leads and generate leads and analyze and get the numbers happening? So that's what we're going to talk about. A little bit of the history background, how businesses can use the platform. That's the key differentiator. Oh my God, you can find a lot of information about this stuff. If you want to learn about this stuff, get on Twitter and follow some social media experts, and they will inundate you. Getting information off the internet is like taking a drink from a fire hose. I mean, it'll just like, you know, more than you could ever want. We're going to kind of talk a description of the major platforms, and then we're going to just kind of open up for questions and sort of see how your industry, how it's affecting your industry, how you can use it in your industry, how people, your customers are tending to use it, and the advice they need. So, forums really kind of started this off. It was bulletin boards, and once upon a time, I started a bulletin board at my dad's company to allow people to upload ARC files to us, right? And that, you guys are probably, I saw quite a few of your sites, and that's it, FTP, that file to me. Even before that, it was a bulletin board, send me that ARC file, you know, and then, oh my God, now the ARC files are all over the place. And the desktop publishing revolution came, and their ARC files are awful, you know, and then you had to almost kind of rebuild their ARC files. And they're using a $98 program to build, you know, sign art, and you're going, oh dear, you know, I can't use this file, but I can't tell them that, because the guy down the street's saying, sure, we'll take it. And they're just absorbing that cost of redoing. Does this sound familiar? Mm-hmm. Okay. So, the internet started, 1990s to present. That's kind of what started this thing going. LinkedIn actually started in 2002, but it really didn't get adopted by very many people, but that's changing. Many people are on LinkedIn. And for my purposes, business to business, LinkedIn is key. The last 3 accounts we got for Heligonix came off of LinkedIn, and it came off of our lead generation efforts in LinkedIn, so we'll get way more into that as we go. MySpace was 2003, and that was the original social networking site. And people, you know, discovered the power of it and how much they liked it, but it had problems, and they kind of then dropped it. It's still out there, but now music industry bands and people are using it, okay? Facebook came on in 2004. It's the most popular platform. So who here has seen the movie The Social Network? So highly recommend that movie. It's a really great movie, and I think it kind of gives you a sense of why this guy took over so well. It kind of reminds me of, do you remember America Online and CompuShare? It was CompuShare, CompuTech, anyway. There was a thing that America Online came on, and for like $15 a month, you got all this functionality. CompuShare, it was a set price, but you could go to certain areas, and all of a sudden charges started racking up, and they called it Copy Shock when you got your bill. And that's how America Online took over, because they did a better job for people. But then as soon as America Online kind of got to the most prevalent position, they kind of turned on everyone, and they started putting ads where you had to search out no thanks. Well, you know, in a lot of ways, that's what Facebook's done. Facebook said, we don't know how we're going to make money off of this, but all I want to do right now is help people. And in the movie, he calls it being cool, okay? Facebook is cool. If I start trying to charge people and start trying to gather information and do bad things, it's not cool anymore, okay? So that's what Facebook's done, is they've become the most prevalent platform. Now, they're walking this fine line, because if they turn on the marketplace, if they start trying to charge people or start being overtly marketing, guess what's going to happen? Everyone's going to drop that like a rock and go to the next thing, okay? So Facebook's got this kind of fine line they've got to walk, but they're doing a masterful job of it. It kind of reminds me of Google, and I'll get into that in a minute. YouTube is started in 2005, and the amazing thing about this whole industry that I'm playing in now is it's 3 to 5 years old. I mean, this just hasn't been around very long, and so it really is taking the market by storm. YouTube is a video sharing platform. So how many people here go to YouTube and watch videos? Yeah, a lot more people. Did you catch that? A lot more of the room actually is aware of YouTube. There's a funny scene in a movie you remember once upon a time, go search YouTube and you'll find it. It's amazing. Anything that on video you ever saw or wanted to see, it's there right now and you can go see it. And it made it taken off for copyright purposes, and 2 days later it's back on, you know? So Twitter, 2006. Twitter's kind of the mind-boggling. Twitter's going, you know, Twitter was getting usage, and then Oprah got on Twitter, and its usage went like this. Everyone got on Twitter, and then it dropped right back down, okay? The most, 80% of Twitter accounts are someone registered, they did 2 tweets, and they went, I don't get this, and they leave, okay? So Twitter's kind of baffling, and we'll talk about it quite a bit, right? And then location-based is the hot thing now, geolocation. In my opinion, geolocation is going to affect you guys in a big way, okay? And so geolocation is Foursquare, Gowalla, these kind of game sites, and we'll get more into that. Okay, so now let's talk about inbound marketing. Inbound marketing makes sense when you put it in comparison to outbound marketing, but inbound marketing basically is businesses must get found online by consumers searching for their products and services on search engines and the blogosphere. And by the blogosphere, I mean all those blogs out there, okay, in social media. So if someone's looking for you the individual, or your company, or they want to check you out, they're going to go online and they're going to type it in, okay? 10, 15 years ago, when someone had a problem they needed a solution to, you would go to Yellow Pages maybe, and look up Yellow Pages, and then it went from there to go into Google, and I would type into Google, and I would say, I'm looking for this company. That's still happening a lot. But anymore, people are going to social media, and they're going to their friends and family and saying, tell me what roofer you use, tell me what plumber you use. Now, you all know in your industry, referral and word of mouth is fairly huge, and Ron kind of talked to me about that. So again, I like doing polls so I can get people to see if you're agreeing with what I'm saying. Does relationship and referral matter in your business? Yeah, it's pretty much everything. Okay, so hold that thought for a while. This is what inbound marketing is getting found online. Okay, now when you compare it to outbound marketing, that's that traditional thing in newspaper, direct mail, television, radio, billboards. That's interruptive. It's like, I know you want to watch a show, but you got to watch my commercial right now, okay? Or I know you want to get your letter from your grandmother, but in the meantime, you got to read these postcards and you got to read all this trash mail. And it's interruptive and people don't like it. It bothers people mostly, And so it's kind of this thing of marketing is almost the trick to marketing is to fool people into or to try to get you to read the stuff I need you to read. In a lot of ways, I think that's what's so great about, direct mail went more to postcards because you can read it as you're walking to the trash. I think that the sign industry's got a lot of similarities in that that thing flashes by them and then it's gone, but they get the message. And it's really hard to avoid those messages. Now, what's happening in the world is technology is allowing people to interrupt that. We got on the do not call list at my house and we get no more telemarketing calls, except for politicians and polls. And it makes me crazy and irritated, and I wish they didn't allow that. And it just, there's a double standard. Give me a break. We have DVR. Who's got a TiVo or a digital video recorder on their TV? Changes the way you watch TV, am I right? I mean, we record everything and we skip every commercial. I don't have to watch commercials anymore. Now the TV's going, I can't be that way, because that's how they make their living selling advertising. Well, I don't know what they're going to do, but that's what we do. So spam filters. Direct mail started working less for us. In the print industry, we were using that. And then we went to email. And email was okay for a while, but now it's become this kind of mix of all the media, okay? And it becomes this kind of cross-media thing you've got to do that's kind of talking to people in every little medium that you're trying to use. But even then, you're fighting against people that they don't want that. Go away from me. So in a way, I kind of said, I surrender all that interruptive outbound marketing stuff. I'm going to start becoming an inbound marketer. And I'm going to try to be there when people want it. And that's the big difference. It's not that people don't want your marketing. They just want it when they want it. They want to choose the time and how they want to experience your marketing. So that's the big difference. Okay. So internet search allows prospects to quickly, easily research and find solutions, especially reviews and recommendations. And that's the big hot thing these days is review sites. Review sites and getting recommendations from other people on social media. So inbound marketing provides useful tools and resources to attract people to the website while interacting and developing relationships with customers on the web. So what ends up happening is now you've got to be useful to people. You've got to help people. It's almost kind of a giver's gain. I don't know if people are in D&I groups or this kind of networking groups. It's giver's gain, help people out, they're going to remember you. The other thing is helping develop a community of customers that love you so much they would recommend you. So the number one trending research question right now, and this comes from my sister that does research at Missouri State, is would you recommend this company? Would you refer this company? Okay? And you got to make it easy for people to recommend and refer you. So we'll talk more about that later. Inbound complements the way buyers make purchasing decisions today, using the internet and related media to learn about the products and services that best meet their needs. So once upon a time, and I love that there's a CRM company in here because we're going to talk about what he does, and that's a really great thing. Once upon a time, people used to focus on the selling process. What's your sales process? What's your sales management process? Well, now people are focusing on the buying process. How do people that buy from you, how do they buy from you, and why do they buy from you? And it's becoming, what's happening is control is moving from you, the product or service provider, to the consumer and how they buy and what they want to buy, okay?